That was the shot heard round the world. Mazeroski, 7th game, World Series. Berra goes back to the wall, back. He's looking. It's gone. Pirates beat the Yankees in 7 games. Now, Greg Dolis and I are here doing a lot of road work tonight. Just came across the 9th Street Bridge, and we're ready to talk some Pirates and Penguins. But before we do, the significance of the man behind Maz in that historic photo. Fill in the blanks.
Oakland legend Don Woo Verratti was ushering that day in 1960 and jumped on Maz's back and got himself almost world famous with all those photographs.
Hey folks, they've got 35 beers on tap here. They've got one of the most incredible menus anywhere. My friend Paul Miller, they do takeout, and of course, you can always sit down and relax. And the month of March is here. All those great basketball games on CBS, seen locally on KDK TV, but also all year long, Penguins and the Pirates up and coming. Miller Lite, this is the place to be. And they've got, 30-some HD TV, so you won't miss a single moment of the action. Let's talk the Penguins as we begin. What an incredible run. They have won 6 in a row. They take on Jersey later this week, and Sidney Crosby is making an argument to be the MVP. Although those in Chicago who like Corey Crawford, their goaltender, may be thinking otherwise, but Sidney Crosby has really stepped up.
Yeah, Rob, the Penguins are the hottest team in hockey right now, without really any question. Having knocked off Washington over the weekend, really established themselves. Now it's no longer can we get in the playoffs. It's how high can we get and what kind of seed can we get. They've really established themselves as a team to be reckoned with, all having taken place without Evgeny Malkin, but some guys that have been really stepping up. Obviously, Sidney Crosby, who's, as you said, in that MVP discussion right now. And Phil Kessel has finally come around to be a guy that was what we thought he was going to be back when he was traded for early in the season.
And a guy who I never gave up hope, even though he kind of tripped a few times along the way. I think the flower right now is firmly planted between the pipes, and he's lighting it up. Marc-Andre Fleury may be playing some of his best hockey as a Penguin.
We talked about him the other day, Rob. I mean, this is a guy who is still in his prime, but it seems like he's been in between the pipes for the Penguins for ages. But really is solid. I mean, you talk about a guy who can really just stand up and play some really good goal for a hockey team that needs him at this juncture. This is a guy that MVP discussions, I'm not so sure he shouldn't be in the vote.
All right, you got Trevor Daley, Carl Hagelin, who's really been coming up big. You've got Chris Letang, Chris Kunitz. I mean, this team is playing 60 minutes of team hockey, night in, night out.
You know, we're leaving out of this discussion is a 39-year-old Cullen, who everybody kind of just disregarded him earlier on, but now all of a sudden the bit players are turning into guys who every night somebody is stepping up in addition to the stars. They really are establishing themselves as a team because of what they've been able to do to pick up where Malkin has fallen off.
All right, let's talk about GM Jim Rutherford. Looking like a pretty smart man right now.
Yeah, he is, and I was the biggest critic of him.
Not me.
I was telling
How can you not like a Rutherford with a Penguin?
I'm just telling you, everybody. In my opinion, it was really tough times, and people were lining up to make trades with him because they thought they were able to take advantage of him. But what he's done this year has all worked.
And I'll tell you what I really like is the Mike Sullivan blend. He has really blended with the team, old school with the new rule. And that's what I like, and it's working.
Wasn't it a little bit scary in the beginning, though?
No.
When it didn't look like those guys.
He looked like a mucker and grinder. He was meant to be behind the bench. Okay, they play Jersey March 24th. We're going to move on to the Pirates, who opening game April 3rd against the Cardinals, PNC Park. Francisco Liriano on the hill. Catch all the games all season long. Home and away, 93-7. The Fan, they do a great job. But I want to talk about what we believe will be the starting lineup. Last couple of times we've got together, and by the way, you can hear us every single Sunday, Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday show. And by the time the Pirates throw out that opening pitch, part of our team, along with Bob Dvorak and Ted Arnaud, the legend that is Bruce Tanner, the pride of Newcastle. He's a scout with Detroit, but he'll be joining us week in and week out on the Disc Institute of Pittsburgh Newsline to talk baseball, and he is great at that. But this is what we believe. And the last time we got together doing a little video blog, we talked about the pitching staff. We're going to move on now to what we believe the starting lineup will be. So here we go. Leading off, Harrison.
You got to love him because he's going to give. He's the type of guy that we think will be able to give the Pirates a spark. He's got a little punch in the bat, so he can get you some gap shots. But when he gets on base, he's a guy that loves to run the bases and get things started, get things moving around. And then what we've seen now is it's going to be McCutchen who's going to be batting second. Sabermetrics says he gets 20 extra at-bats per year if you move him up one spot in the order. Those 20 at-bats could be a lot of runs to get produced for the Pirates. The only thing you lose with that is that early game opportunity for him to get an extra RBI.
All right, my man Michael Grant shooting the video on the Samsung S5. I got to get an S7. It's time to move up in the world. They're out. And that, of course, from AT&T. Thank you much. Now, it depends if it's a righty or a lefty. We'll take a look at the next spot in the lineup, which is the third hole. Gregory Polanco or Starling Marte. I can leave with either one of those, and then, of course, one or the other will be batting cleanup, depending on who's the opposition, meaning a righty or a southpaw.
Yeah, I think it's flavor of the day with either of those guys, both of whom can hit you some bombs, both of whom can hit some gaps, and they can run. So this is a team that can run, although Hurdle's not known for a guy who wants to steal a lot of bases and do those types of things, but there is some speed at the top of this order.
And Saravelli, we don't really talk enough about him because we just don't, because he's steady as a rock. He's been a great acquisition for the Pirates at catcher.
Really made everybody forget about Russell Martin. And Russell Martin was one heck of a catcher, but Francisco was able to really step in and do the necessary things that they need. And you plug him in every day as your catcher. You give him a blow once in a while. You have Stewart in there, who's a pretty able backup. So they should be pretty well set at that 5 spot.
All right, now it gets a little hairy here, so bear with us, okay? We got to put the pieces of the puzzle together. It will be David Freese, new acquisition, former Cardinal, World Series MVP 2012 at first. If Gung is healthy and starts the season at third or shortly after, then Freese will go to first and stay there. But if Gung's not healthy, Freese will be at first and he'll be batting. Now, if Gung is not healthy, all right, now bear with me. You've got, and I know it's complicated, bear with me. So if Gung's not healthy, it will be Freese at third and John Jasso at first. Now, if Gung is healthy, Freese will be at first. Make sense?
That's what I believe to be the case. They've given him some experience. He doesn't have a lot of experience at first base yet, but it's a position. He's a guy that can adapt to that. A very veteran presence, former World Series MVP, a guy who you know is going to be able to show up every day and give you a very respectable bat every time he shows up.
And last but definitely not least, before they bring in the pitcher, whoever's ever playing that day in the 9th hole, it will be Jordy Mercer, the shortstop, batting 8th.
Really important, Rob, I think this year for Jordy Mercer to get off to a faster start than he did last year. If you get the Jordy Mercer that played the second half of the season and hit like he did the second half of the season early, that will avoid that lull that the Pirates had last year at the beginning of the season.
So there you have it, folks. What we believe to be the starting lineup of your Pittsburgh Pirates. Maybe Maz has a few games left in him. What do you think?
It would be great to see.
Number 9, now batting
you
for the Pittsburgh
imagine
Pirates.
him playing on these well-manicured fields? He would never make an error.
Did he ever?
I guess maybe.
And you know what? Was it like a lifetime 275 hitter? You imagine having him as a client.
Yes.
That would be a good deal. Anyway, folks, P-Dubs in the heart of Monaca, 9th Street, Pennsylvania Avenue, Paul Miller. They do a great job. Great food, great fun, wonderful venue to watch all of your favorite sports teams. Have a great night. That's a wrap from your Pratt Pack and Greg Dallas. Don't forget, Sundays at noon, Bob Dvorak and him and Ted Arnaud and me. And coming by the time the Pirates start the season, Bruce Tanner talking Pirate baseball, Sundays, noon, Coons Market, Black and Gold Sunday on KDK. Have a great night.